Are you stuck earning minimum wage wondering how on earth people make six figures? Let me tell you something, they are not born into it. It's not some big secret either. In fact, I started with working minimum wage jobs, flipping sandwiches at Burger King and delivering food with Uber Eats just to scrape by. But that was my life as a student. Minimum wage was my best friend, even if it didn't feel very friendly. Anyways, in this video, let me take you through the steps to transition from earning minimum wage to pulling in a six-figure income. As a student, I wasn't living the financial enlightened life you hear about online. Back then, budgeting wasn't even on my radar. No 50-30-20 rule, no fancy financial plans, and definitely no thoughts about saving or investing. My budget was more like rent, groceries, phone bill, transportation, and maybe, just maybe, dining out once in every 6 months as a treat. The only plan I had was to make it through the month without overdrawing my bank account. But here's the thing, I wasn't complaining. Why? Because I knew that these jobs weren't my endgame. It was never meant to be a paycheck that is going to create a plan for me. It was just enough to help me survive while I worked on building a bigger, brighter future for myself. So yeah, I did work hard enough, and now I want to share everything I learned through my YouTube channel. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button because I talk a lot about personal finance, self-improvement, and career development. And you're gonna grab a lot of valuable content all for free. So smash it before I proceed. Anyways, let's talk about minimum wage jobs for a moment. They are great support for students, but they don't exactly scream skill required, do they? I mean, yes, they do demand some hard work, and if you've ever been on your feet for 8 hours flipping burgers during a lunch rush, you know what I'm talking about. Your back hurts, your legs ache, and few hours into the shift, you question yourself,
Do you really think you can go all day long?
That's what she said.
But let's be real, anyone can do these jobs. Seriously, a couple days of training and you're flipping patties like a pro. Download the Uber driver app, upload a few documents, and you're delivering food. No degree, no special certification, no special skill required. And that's the catch. Since it's so easy to get into, it doesn't pay much. Why would it? There are always 10 people ready to take your place. And here's the hard truth. These jobs might help you survive in the short term, but they are not designed to help you thrive. They are not going to set you up for a future of financial stability or help you achieve your biggest dreams. They are just not built for that. Yes, they can help you pay off some loans real fast, but those things are temporarily, not for permanent. When you're earning a low income, the idea of investing can sound like a joke. You're probably thinking, invest in what? Like lottery ticket? But here's the catch. Even if you don't have extra cash, there is one thing you do have that's worth more than gold. And that is our step number one. It's time. Yes, I know you have heard it like a million times already. Time is your biggest asset. But it's true. If you don't have money to invest, the smartest move is to use your time to learn valuable skills that will pay off later. Here's where many people go wrong. They work full-time hours at a low-wage jobs while juggling school, leaving them too drained to focus on their studies or develop high-income skills. Sure, those minimum wage jobs may help you survive now, but they won't set you up for a comfortable future. So what was my approach? I didn't spend all my time working minimum wage jobs. I worked just enough to cover rent, groceries, and phone bills, and other basics. I wasn't some super talented student either. I was average at best. And yeah, I skipped a fair number of online classes, but I stayed committed to learning skills that would help me land a bigger paycheck in the future. So if you want to go from minimum wage to six figures, you need to use your time wisely. That's your first step. Don't let the comfort of a steady paycheck keep you from long-term goals. Because if you're stuck in a low-paying job like flipping burgers or working retail and you're not building skills or planning for the future, you're losing out on huge opportunities down the line. Now, if you're already making good money from a side hustle or business during school, that's amazing. But if all your time is going to a minimum wage job with no long-term plan, you're stuck in a survival mode. And that's not where you want to be. So decide what industry you want to work in. Once you have that figured out, start researching the high demand skills, certifications, and positions in that field. Don't expect schools to do the heavy lifting. They'll just point you in the right direction, but the journey is up to you. Think of it like planning a road trip. First, figure out where you want to go, then decide what kind of transportation you need to get there. The more you upgrade your transportation with skills and certifications, the faster and easier the journey becomes. For example, if you want to become a data analyst, start with the basics. Learn Excel, SQL, Power BI, and maybe Python. These tools are in high demand and employers love seeing certifications that prove you know your stuff. Build a portfolio to showcase your work because saying I'm good at data analysis isn't enough. You need to show that through some portfolio of your work. Step number 2, focus on skills, not just the paycheck. When you're starting out, your goal shouldn't be landing a high-paying job right away. If you do that, fantastic. That's a great time to pop the champagne. But realistically, even if you start with a modest paycheck, say $40,000 or $50,000 per year in a high-paying industry, take it. Why? Because it's not just about money, it's about learning and growing in the long term. Think of it like this. When you enter a high-paying industry, even at the beginner level, you're not just earning a paycheck, you're buying time to develop valuable skills. These are the skills that people and companies will gladly pay top dollar for. The more you hone these skills, the more irreplaceable you become, and as a result, your paycheck climbs. Now, let me bring the minimum wage job again. These jobs don't pay much, and here's why. You're not unique there. If you quit today, someone else will replace you tomorrow after a couple hours of training. You're replaceable, and that's why the paycheck stays low. Contrast that with someone like Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. Why do they still make so much money even as they near retirement age? It's not because they're amazing at football or soccer or whatever you guys call it. It's because they bring so much value to their teams. Fans come to watch them, tickets sell out, and merchandise flies off the shelves. If they were replaced by an average player, their clubs wouldn't just lose games, they would lose millions in revenue. That's the power of being irreplaceable. So when you're starting out, don't just focus on paycheck. Take the job that helps you learn and apply new skills, even if it pays less at first. Every task, project, and challenge builds your expertise, and here's the secret. Your effort compounds over time. Those early days of hard work might seem small now, but they will pay off exponentially down the road. And before you know it, your paycheck will grow faster than my belly after a weekend pizza binge. This brings us to the next step. Grow your paycheck. So how does your paycheck grow? Do companies notice your hard work and skills and decide to give you a generous raise? Well, yes and no. While most organizations do offer annual raises, these are typically about 3 to 5%, which barely keeps up with inflation. In other words, it's not really a raise, it's just survival. The truth is, loyalty in the corporate world rarely leads to the best financial growth. So if you're serious about boosting your income, switching jobs is the way to go. A study by LendingTree found that workers who change jobs earn on average 11% more than those who stay put. And if you move to a larger company, your income could jump by 15% or more. Bigger companies have bigger budgets and they are willing to pay a premium for skilled professionals. So here's the strategy. Stay with an organization long enough to master your role and gain valuable experience, but don't overstay your welcome. Once you have built up your skills, you need to come out of your comfort zone and look for opportunities at companies that will pay you more for your expertise. Think of it like leveling up in a video game. You gain skills and experience in one level, then move on to the next for a bigger challenge and bigger rewards. Staying stuck too long in one place only delays your progress. So learn the ropes, gain experience, and when the time is right, make the leap. And that's how you grow your paycheck, not by waiting for the annual inflation raise, but by taking charge of your career. And then we move on to the final step, which is the aim for independence. But what does that mean? It's about starting a side hustle that might not pay much or maybe nothing at first, but it's something you're passionate about, you're good at, and something people will eventually pay for. Think of it as planting a seed for your future. Before we go further, let me clarify when I say side hustle. I don't mean working for delivery apps or anything that keeps you in the same minimum wage mindset. A true side hustle has the potential to grow big enough to replace your full-time job someday. What does a side hustle look like? If you're skilled in designing cards or logos, or you have good writing skills, you could start freelancing. In this scenario, you're essentially the boss, taking on projects from clients, managing your own time, and gradually scaling your business. Or if you're an expert at something like data analysis, you could build an audience online, and over time, that audience could turn into students who will pay to learn from you. Not only you're making an impact by teaching others, but you're also doing something you love. And let's be real, who doesn't love getting paid for something they enjoy? Building a side hustle isn't about getting rich instantly, it's about setting yourself on a path towards independence. I even have a video explaining why side hustles alone won't make you rich, but they are a powerful tool for creating financial freedom. I'll link it here in the corner and also in the description for you to check out. And remember, the key is to focus on something you're good at, that you enjoy, and that can grow into something meaningful. With time, dedication, and right audience, your side hustle could become your purpose and your primary source of income. As I mentioned earlier, your side hustle might not pay well at first or nothing at all, but just like when you started learning and applying new skills, this will also take time. All those small efforts will eventually compound, and before you know it, your hustle will take off. The secret to success and for the bill in time is consistency. Whether you're learning a skill, creating a product, building muscle, or growing a dividend portfolio, the one thing that ties them all together is consistent effort over time. You don't need to be extraordinary. In fact, I think the term extraordinary, it's just a myth. I think it just means doing ordinary things consistently day in and day out for a long time. Now, if you feel like you don't have enough time in a day, watch this video to learn 4 simple habits I apply in my life that save me over 20 hours a week. So let's jump over and I'll see you there.